Hello fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. Timestamps are right down below if you want to hop to your individual reading. Stay around for the general disclaimer if you're not familiar with it, which is the following. These are general messages here on YouTube, guys. Not everything I say will resonate with every single one of you out there. If it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't strike a chord, have faith it is going out to someone else who needs to hear it. It won't be your message every time, so just come in with realistic expectations. That being said, it is my goal, my aim, my intention that many pieces of this reading will resonate with you and offer you some insight. If it doesn't click immediately, give yourself the luxury of time because it may make sense later on, okay? As always, come into these messages with a high vibration. If you're not coming with a high vibe, this is not your channel. Come into it with an open heart, with an open mind, and yeah, take away what motivates you, empowers you, inspires you. That's my goal here. So if you're feeling lackluster after the messages, probably not your message, or you're being asked to sit on that message and really think about it. So anyway, you are in the driver's seat. I'm a tarot reader who believes in free will 100%. So yeah, everything else about this reading, or these readings, multiple readings, will be down in that description box below, including the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media channels. I'm the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook, Instagram, intuitiveteacup.com. Check all that out if you're interested. If you want to book a personal with me, just shoot me an email. That is right down below as well. Other than that, we're going to hop in. Let's do these alignment, spiritual alignment, empowerment messages and see what comes through for your zodiac sign. Timestamps right down below. What's good, Aries gang? Time stamping for the Aries. Let's do this. Spiritual messages. I have been giving the disclaimer that these have been very deep, very kind of profound messages. It's not so much, I have a crush on this person or am I going to get the job? Certainly, if those messages come through, I will share them with you. These have been about self-discovery and introspection, growth in our spiritual journey. So that's what I anticipate is going to come out. I feel like universe is like, it's Scorpio season. Give them the messages they need to hear, not the ones they want. So again, come into it with an open heart, with an open mind, and we will see what comes through for you guys, okay? Happy to have you, Aries. Thanks for joining me here today. All right, let's do it. So bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. Going where your passion is calling. Sometimes this can be the player night, you know, if you're dealing with someone who's kind of a hit it and quit it, and especially if you're looking for commitment, then you might not be getting it back, but this could also be you, especially because it is your elemental. It could be that you're chasing big dreams, you're chasing your passions, but I am sort of getting, it's like when something, and I mean, this is very true for the Knight of Wands, you may try something out, but not be seeing it through to completion. You may be dipping out too soon when you don't get the immediate results that you're looking for. I think, to be honest, I think this is saying practice some patience. Because if you, like a stick-to-itiveness is what I'm hearing, something may result from something you're already knee-deep in, and I think there's the temptation to up and bolt from it. But I think universe is saying, see this through to the end. Because at minimum, there's a valuable lesson or some knowledge that you're going to take away, but you're denying yourself of those important insights by dipping out too soon. I don't know if that makes sense for all of you, but if it does, here's the thing. That's bottom of the deck, Aries, so that says that message might not be relevant now, but it's coming in. So whether you want this message or are avoiding it, it's like we got to get through this to understand what that is. So I'm going to hop into your actual table reading here. You do have I see some sun. Yeah, like these are the cards that are showing. They're not exactly in a row. I don't know if you can see that, but High Priestess is trusting your intuition. It is a card of balance and patience, and again, not rushing in. She's very cool and calm and collected, right? It's almost saying to me, absolutely go towards what you're passionate about, but give it some time, give it patience. It's like you got to roll with the tides a little bit. You may be trying to, in metaphor, like control the tides, like back and forth and back and forth. Allow divine timing to almost like bestow upon you, fancy messages, like what you're actually supposed to get out of the experience before you go dipping off to the next fun and exciting thing. I guess, and I mean, these are very positive cards. You have a lot of major arcana coming through, which is, again, these messages are big. I think it's saying that there's more joy to be found in where you're currently at than always thinking like the grass is greener. Like this was good, but I think I'm kind of done with it. Universe is saying, no, we're not. Focus on this still. You're not done with it. Okay. So you can view that in terms of relationships, a job, a project, something with a family member. You get to choose the lens you're going to view it through. I'm going to read the cards. Okay. So right smack in the middle of this, absolutely, you have the building card. This is about teamwork. Typically, it's working in groups, but you can always view it as almost like the Holy Trinity, like aligning your mind, body, spirit. So you could be doing work on your physical self, on your body, again, spirituality or something of the sorts, or money, right? Pentacles, this could be working on your bank account, right? I love this, Aries. Like, God bless my spirit guides. You guys are here for me, because this is literally saying committing to it, right? So the Hierophant, a card of Taurus, if that matters to you, maybe it's involving a project team with a Taurus or a relationship. This is a card of tradition, of sticking to your commitments, and that's exactly what the bottom of the deck is. So instantly this is a repeat message, which is fantastic, because to me it's saying, no, this is the message. So right out the gate, if this isn't your message, it isn't your message. But again, I'm being told to say, like, kind of stick around, because something about this may actually make sense. Anyway, the Hierophant is the Pope, the priest. He's the one who leads the group spiritually. Sometimes it can be a card of like sort of like dogmatic law, or preaching things, or sorry, how do I want to say this? Yeah, I mean, dogma is the word I'm looking for. Preaching things to the group that I'm sort of getting it may be outdated, and that makes so much sense for you, Aries, because you're the one that comes through with that fire energy. It's original, and it's different, and it's the trailblazing idea, right? So that to me is saying you may be trying to mix it up, and if you're constantly being met with rejection, or no, we're not going to do that, like, thanks for your input, but thanks, but no thanks. I don't know. I think there's something about your spirit that you will push your way through, and you don't have to do it in a cruel, cutthroat way. I think you have very valid, important ideas. Again, in whatever this relationship is, universe is saying it's not time to surrender. It's not time to duck out of this. It's time to see this commitment through to what it can be. Because, yeah, this is saying, like magic wand, it's like magic awaits. Growth, empowerment, again, cards of spirituality and creativity. The Ace of Wands is a very badass card to have, and it's coming up in your section, so it's like you actually do wield the magic wand. Like, you hold the power. It's like we got to get these other fools to see it. So, let's see. Yeah, okay, this is so funny. So this is coming up in your past. This is the card of, I'm going to walk away. This isn't for me. The past. So in general, we think of the death card representing Scorpio season, which is about closing out and completing cycles so that we can move on and begin the new chapter of our lives, or, whatever you want to say. Frequently in these readings, the past card is indicating what cycle are you continuing to repeat because you haven't fully realized the lessons attached to it. Excuse me. This is saying when it gets boring, when it gets dull, when it gets too heavy, too much work, some of my Aries, this is not meant to offend you, but you leave too soon. It's like, I'm done here. I'm going to go do this. But Spirit is saying, stop. You're meant to grow here. You're meant to build here. So I guess overall, I'm asking you, what in the past do you feel like you may have severed ties with too soon? But here's the thing. You chose to do it. This is not saying, oh, you got fired there and you got fired there, or whatever it is. It has nothing to do with that. It's you leaving because you're getting antsy. You're too curious about like what's going on over there, when it's like you're meant to focus your time here. This is earth energy, so I do think in metaphor it's asking you to tame that vivacious, passionate fire in you, which again, you're the ram, you're the Aries, that's amazing, and that's you. But I think if you're using it in a lower vibration, it's again like the player night, the hit it and quit it. And it's like, you can't quit it. You got to stay. Earth energy is the complete opposite of like the fire energy in terms of getting shit done. Fire is like, we go in and we go out, and that's that. Like, we burn the place down and then we're done. This is like, no, it's earth energy. We got to plant the seed, and we got to water it, and we got to add sunlight, and we got, you know what I mean? There's a repetitive pattern here of what you need to do. And again, stick-to-itiveness. Rome wasn't built in a day. This isn't going to happen overnight, but you got into this project originally with some sort of spark or fire. So why are you not giving it the benefit of the doubt, or giving it the benefit of longevity? And I don't know why this is. Why are we? There is an element of the grass is always greener. that I think I said that earlier too, and it's like, this is almost like self-sabotagey. Your intuition is calling you to go to the 10 of Cups, but I really do feel like what Spirit is saying here is this could be the 10 of Cups. It's like you're always searching for the bigger and better thing when you may already have it in your hand. It's just not the fully realized 10 of Cups. One of my favorite tarot readers, Aquarian Insight, Jay, she always says, the Ace of Pentacles is what becomes the Ten of Pentacles, but very rarely in life do we get, and same goes for Ten of Cups. Those are like the higher vibrational tens, like the Cinderella story, the lottery ticket, the big stuff that gets us very exciting, the fairy tale ending, we sometimes call it. It doesn't usually present as that when you first match with someone on a dating app, when you first get the job interview. Very rarely, we may view it as a Ten of Cups scenario, but it's like the proof is in the pudding, and I don't think you're waiting there long enough to get the actual proof or evidence that it is. So really, to me, it's saying the minute you get there, or however long you stay there, you start to question, I don't know about this anymore. I think my Ten of Cups is that way. But your intuition also kind of subconsciously knows. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Spirit. So five of Swords is saying you're not that certain, though. Especially if you have had the pattern of leaving something in the past. Mentally, you still haven't let go of those past opportunities, because I think, Aries, you know that you may have walked away from one thing or several things that actually had huge potential to be the one. Or I don't even necessarily believe in the one, but the Cinderella story, something that could make you very happy, something that was very lucrative or very creative or allowed you great amounts of freedom or influence or power, whatever it is you're looking for. But you're getting antsy. There's something about why do you keep walking away from this? So, and it could be fear of commitment. That can sometimes be like you feel like you're going to have a lost sense of freedom if you get too deep in this. It's easy. I'm hearing it's easier to be detached. It's easier to be free, but it's awfully lonely, though, isn't it? I don't know. So coming up in what I've been sort of describing this as in your highest vibration, right? Aries at your absolute best. You're spiritually aligned. You're thinking with clarity. You're using your emotions. Like everything is working together. All the aces, right? The pentacles, the wands, the cups, the swords. That's what your mind is telling you. So it's a very interesting card. I think this is saying there's something from your past that is a trigger, that you went through some sort of financial hardship, or any five in tarot, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it's agents of change and chaos, right? But essentially, this was a hardship that was very brutal. It really took its toll on you. You could have grown up in a family that didn't have a lot of money. You could have felt abandoned by someone in your life. I am sort of getting childhood issues, so again, it'll be different for everyone. But there was something that really stressed you out, and I feel like whatever this is, maybe not directly, but indirectly, it does have to do with this idea of I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to commit myself to something because that happened to me once and it didn't go well. I was forced to stay in this household and it wasn't safe. I was forced to work this job and I got injured on the job. Or again, things that you may not even be consciously aware of. The subconscious kind of knows, though, and so there's this, I don't know how else to relay it other than there may be a subconscious part of you that says, if I stay here and commit too much time or energy, it's not going to work out for me, because it didn't 10 years ago. And yeah, I mean, you might be living in the past, but again, your highest vibration knows that this happened in the past, and this is not a death sentence to your future. This is ultimately asking, did you take away the valuable lessons attached to it? And it's not to say that you needed to be reprimanded or scolded for a mistake you made in your childhood. You could have been the victim of circumstance of growing up in, God forbid, an abusive household. But it's like somehow that is translating into projecting this, how do I want to say this? Almost like sinister vibe on whoever is giving you orders or giving you commands. Maybe you had an abusive or alcoholic father. Again, God forbid, I don't know this. I'm just giving you an example. So everybody in a position of authority or leadership over you, there's this immediate distaste for it. And you're just like, no, I'm out. Like, yeah, it's like, it makes sense to me too. In a sense, you're meant to lead. Not only are you a cardinal sign, you're the first damn zodiac sign on the wheel, which is about the self. It's about me. And that's not out of ego. That's who you are. You put yourself first, right? You're literally number one, right? And again, I'm not doing this to stroke your ego, But that's where it gets awkward because you're being forced. Yeah, this makes so much sense. You're being forced into situations where you don't always get to lead. Sometimes I'm sort of hearing like humble pie. Like, you do have great ideas. You're goddamn right you do. But sometimes they land and sometimes they don't. And when they don't land, I think it's an important lesson for you to stick it out. This very much to me talks about a wounded ego as well, which again, your higher vibrational understands, yeah, we got to do some work there. Like we do live in a state of, if the ideas don't land, if you pitch something and it gets rejected, it's like you shrink back in your seat. I don't know if it's embarrassment or shame or guilt or just lacking confidence, right? That's very much what I think this is. So it's so funny. This is like hopes and fears, or even goals. It's like this back and forth of, I think your hopes and your dreams and your goals are to finally be comfortable somewhere, to be at rest where you can actually, and this is really what this card does talk about. I know it doesn't always look that way, but any foreign tarot, it's like the comfort zone. It's like the safety zone, which in a higher vibration, that's great. It's a milestone where we can finally relax and let our hair down. We can breathe, right? We have mental peace and clarity, that type of thing. In a lower vibe, it's the comfort zone where we've outgrown it and we need to go into the 5 to mix things up again. I think you're living in a state of 5. I'm hearing the word frenzy. I think there's a state of don't get too comfortable because we always have to pick up and leave. Again, maybe that was your childhood. Maybe that was your teenage years, whatever it is. And I am sort of being, you were forced to live this way. It's not because you wanted to, but again, it's seeping in and impacting abilities to create solid foundations. Because again, the 3, it's like we're working towards the foundation, but I think a lot of my Aries duck out before we get there. Anyway, I also think your fear, though, at the same time, as much as you want to be settled and relaxed and let your hair down and feel like you're in a good, secure place, I think you also won't let yourself because you don't like the idea of rest. It needs to be exciting and it needs to be interesting. So in a sense, I'm sort of getting the perfect combination for you is something where it's lively and it's fresh and it's different. It's not the same monotonous thing every single day. But it's also reliable. It's steady. It doesn't feel unstable. You're not constantly, with that family that's getting, what is the term? Like kicked out of the apartment time and time. Do you understand what I mean? And this is probably a work dynamic. I have to be honest. I feel that. But again, it could also be impeding on your relationships of just as someone wants to build with you or there's talk of marriage, you're like, oh no, like I grew up in a house of divorce and again, even subconsciously, like I'm terrified of marriage. So the minute you say that, I'm out. Like I'm not even here for the conversation. But so even if that's the case, Aries, for some of you, not for all of you, you had a person in your past who probably wanted to marry you and your intuition knows that's what they wanted. But at the time you were not able to even concede. Is that the right word? Concede of that idea. It was almost like too much for your mind to process. It was too big of a burden to even think about. Again, because I'm getting triggers of the past. Someone in your life walked away from you or vice versa. Or not necessarily that, but you were in I just keep wanting to say a childhood home, possibly, where there was circulating people coming and going, but there was never any peace and quiet. There was never any rest. There was never any long-term stability. Maybe you were a military brat, that kind of thing, where it's one house to the next, and it feels uncomfortable, though. I think there's a certain amount of adventure, which is a really beautiful perspective on making the best of a crummy circumstance or a situation that I don't think you really enjoyed, but you learn to adapt. And that in itself, I'm like, I have chills. That's important. You learn to adapt. And what I was going to say is like, I'm bowing down to you. That is fucking amazing. You have great skills of adaptation. You may not feel like it, but I can see in your reading that you do. Yeah, Spirit is confirming that's important. Your ability to adapt is amazing. You need to implement that skill in adapting to staying in a place longer than a year or you know what I mean? That skill, it's something you're naturally good at because you had no choice. You had to develop it. And again, there was a sense of, okay, I'm going to make the best of this. If I'm moving all around, hey, I'll get to meet new friends every other week, or I'll get to see new places, insert whatever. It's like putting the silver lining again on a crappy circumstance that probably happened years ago. That did serve you. And I do think it has to do, again, with self-reliance, understanding that the world throws a lot of curveballs and you have no option but to adapt. I think this is saying, I know this is saying, because justice is coming in, the scale's tipping in your favor. Also, partnership, by the way. Oh, how do I want to phrase this? The hardest part is over. And I think that's what your higher mind knows, but there's still that trigger of fear, which all the messages this season for every single zodiac sign is like, let's talk about the skeleton in the closet. It's like we're pretending it's not there because we don't want to deal with it because it's heavy. It's emotional. It's not fun to think about and talk about. It will give you tremendous peace of mind to clear out those skeletons in your closet, to address the elephant in the room that you, like Aries, people are lining up to hang out with you or marry you or hire you or whatever it is. And when it gets too real, when it gets too serious, it's like, I gotta go, sorry. And it's a pattern that you keep repeating. And the thing is, I think you are aware of it, but you've never really wanted to do anything about it. And again, the timeline is up to you. You can read this and be like, yeah, that's me, but I'm happy. Okay, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm showing you energy that could be impeding on your ability to succeed or move forward in some area in your life. So coming in the future, partnership, signing the long-term contract. And also, as I was saying, there was like a frantic, chaotic energy of running one place to the next and never actually feeling settled, never actually able to take a deep breath and just like chill. That's what's coming in. The scales, if they're calibrating, right, eventually they land and it's just like, and we're balanced. Internal balance is coming in for you, but also I do think this has to do with working in a group or a partnership long term. For some of you, it could be marriage, it could be a marriage contract, or it's just committing yourself to the idea of, you know what, that 10 of Cups person that I may have let get away, I think I'm going to go chase them down and actually try and again calibrate. I'm going to try and be steady and consistent in this relationship and not dip out every time it gets awkward or uncomfortable, or do you understand what I mean? And you guys know this. I come at this with love and positivity. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus or make you feel like crap. It's really just the opposite. It's like, I want to help you so bad. I'm not afraid to give you a little tough love to be like, we need this. Where can we help insert this solution in this reading? I think this is where it lies. And interestingly enough, I love that this is coming through because this is, you could say your divine counterpart, right? Your opposite on the zodiac wheel. Frequently, we have a lot of karmic relationships. So for you, your opposite is Libra. You're Aries. You're number one, right? You're the head. You're the ram. I'm first, just by default, right? That's who you are. And that's beautiful. That's amazing. Libra is the opposite. Libra never lives in a state of it's about me. Libra is about I'm the scales. So there's me, but there's you. So I can't function unless you're okay too. So Libra has the opposite problem where they're constantly the doormat. They're always serving others and not serving themselves. And so I love that this is coming through because it's like we gotta balance you out with essentially opposites attract. That's sort of what I'm getting. So there may be a Libra who will allow you your freedom to have the boys' night or this or that or whatever it is, right? There'll be a sense of freedom, but also you can still come home to them. And there's like a nice balancing of opposites here is sort of what I'm getting. It doesn't have to be a Libra, but ultimately that is what this card stands for. So it's like, we need to balance you out because it's almost like you've been overcompensating with that fire energy that, again, you were born with. We got to simmer it down and bring maybe some earth and some air into this dynamic. Yeah, very interesting. You may have an air sign coming in if you are looking for a romantic partnership or any kind of partnership, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So we know you hold the torch, you're magical, you do need to, in a sense, Aries, I do sense that there's I need to be in control of my own life. I need to be driving the car. I need to take the reins. You can still do that and still be in a partnership and not feel like you're being manipulated. I think a lot of this too, especially in the business aspect, has a lot to do with a wounded ego. And again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just putting it out there. Not every idea you have is genius. I'm just going to give you some tough love and tell you that. So yeah, that sucks to hear, but it's just the truth of life, right? Not everything you say and do is going to be like Aries. And dose of reality. I think that's good. That's healthy. It's what you do with that rejection. But is it really rejection? I think it has to do with the perspective, the viewpoint of how you're looking at that, right? Using your higher vibrational mind, every time there's that sense of, ooh, that kind of hurt, like I didn't like that, You can play the victim. You can be moody and pouty and be like, well, they didn't, or you can just be like, ugh, all right, well, maybe I missed the mark. Or you could do, you know what, I still like my idea, so if these fools aren't on board, okay, but that doesn't mean you're going to quit them, right? It doesn't mean you have to quit the job because you didn't stick the landing on that one project or that one whatever. This is saying you're magic. There's something very special about you, right? So know that. That's an empowerment, a loving message, right? But I think you can be too stuck in your head. You can be too stubborn about your ideas. And so flexibility, balance, again, recalibrate the scales. That's what I'm getting here. Other people see you as having very good ideas, and I'm so getting the message. I just want to be clear, I'm not here to kiss your ass. I don't do that on my channel, but if you're new, I get how that sometimes may come through. I truly am getting that people line up to give you their heart, their love. Even if it's just friendship, you probably have a very large group of friends. And if you don't, again, take it with a grain of salt. But this section is how other people see you. Other people see you as like, I want to give Aries my cup, but they won't take it. Every time I make an offer of, hey, do you want to get serious? Do you want to date? Do you want to be committed? Aries is like, nope. Again, the opposite, the balance, fire and water. Totally different, right? Because you don't, in metaphor, it's like, if you pour water on fire, what's going to happen? It's going to, and that spark is so important to you. It's your identity. It's your ego, right? Yeah, there's a water sign that might be interested in you, specifically a Pisces or a Cancer. It could be a Scorpio. I don't really see any cards of Scorpio. But anyway, let's throw one on that. They're trying to show you the light. This person wants to transform with you into the next natural, organic stage of the relationship. Again, that could be work-wise. It's this funny message where things are getting serious, but they're getting serious in a good way. It's like, you've been at this company X amount of years. It's time for a promotion. Why does that scare you? I'm a little bit confused by the message, but I'm sure you have your reasonings. I'm not saying you're crazy. There's something about it where it's a trigger. It's a trigger. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I keep getting when things get too real or too serious, you'd rather pursue passions elsewhere. Ultimately, I think this has happened multiple times. You end up shooting yourself in the foot because your intuition eventually kicks in and says, really? Why did we run from that 10 of Cups? Because that was really good. It was comfortable and I was happy there, but... And I'm saying that too because that's what the 5 of Swords says. It's mental confusion. It's not that you're making a clean break and I'm starting a new chapter and the past is in the past and here we are now in the future, or in the present rather. It's not. It's like... oh, that's weird. I feel uncomfortable. Should I have done that? Shouldn't I have said that? What should I have said? There's a lot of regret in the 5 of Swords. Sometimes it can be a nasty card, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it has the connotation of that person who's winning at all costs, right? I'll trample on anyone to get ahead. I don't think that's what you're doing. I want to be clear. But even if that was the case, and maybe this isn't always you, maybe these are people in your life that, again, they've made you feel that way, but you might be doing it too subconsciously. This guy did something or said something that, again, there are people in the background who are wounded or lost or feeling isolated or abandoned because of this man's actions, who has red hair, by the way. Nice little Aries nod. The thing is, though, he's not ruthless because, look, he instantly knows. It's not peacocking the way, 6 of Wands is like, oh, yeah, I got to the top and I'm God's gift to the world. This is I did it because I had to and in the moment it felt right, but should I have done that? He instantly knows. And you passed your 10 of Cups already. It's not to say you can't get this back. And again, this could be more representing milestones in your life of, that was good, but in a sense, it's why did I self-sabotage? I have to be honest, especially for any of my Aries seeking female partnership, whether you are female or male, doesn't matter. I'm getting there's a very strong divine feminine energy who would offer you great stability and support, especially a Taurus or a Libra. And you chose to leave them. And I'll be honest, this might be for the cross watchers. There's also a Capricorn. There may be a new I want to say an old new Capricorn. A Capricorn who you already know, but with divine timing, it may actually turn into something romantic. So probably like a friendship or, someone you knew in college or you met through work or, something with a Capricorn. There's Wheel of Fortune vibes there. There would be good reciprocity. Again, the balancing of the scales. Also with Aquarius too, you have tons of major arcana. So this says to me, this is big. There are big things in store for you. So stop running from your damn blessings. I'm just going to say it, Aries. Anyway, all right, let's move on. We're almost through this. So let's see. Your advice or guidance is strength, surrender. This is not about ego per se. But it's like, so I almost see this as someone is trying to tame you. If you're the lion, Leo energy, right? Fire signs. It's like they coerce you into coming and joining them, moving in with them or whatever, giving you the job and talking about it. So rather than your inclination to, it's almost like you get lost in, I don't want to, maybe like the sexuality of it. There's something very soothing. It's like someone giving you a head massage or a back rub. And then they start talking to you about marriage and you're just like, oh, like I want to run. I'm king of the jungle. Like I don't lay down for just anyone. I think Spirit is asking you, though, if it feels so right, in metaphor, this head massage, these scratches, this back rub or whatever, if it feels so right, why are you letting the words that this person is speaking completely freak you out? Because that's sort of what I'm getting. It's like the physical action is there. It's not that you're relying solely on words, that people are promising you the sun and the moon and the stars and not delivering. It's the complete opposite. This person is literally, this is what I want to give you, and here it is, and that's why you're running. Like, it's very opposite of what I would tell people in a love reading. Don't tell me how much you love me, show me. You have people showing you, and so again, I'm not trying to beat you up and make you feel bad. I'm just making you aware of this pattern if it is, in fact, your message. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. And a tissue for that matter. All right, let's see. It's rock solid. It's set in stone. It freaks you out a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Might be a Gemini. You have almost every zodiac sign here, so I don't even know what to do with that. There are very strong relationships in your life. They have strength. They have longevity. See it through to the end. When your gut reaction is to up and leave, ask yourself why, and does it come from insecurity? Is it a trigger from the past? That's your advice or guidance. Yeah, just give it thought. It's not to say you have to stay there if it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, by all means, go on to the next thing. Seek out avenues of joy. But give it some thought. It's like, can you do it concurrently? And this is 16. It's like, don't usher in the tower when the tower isn't called for. Stripping everything down, absolutely demolishing the building so that you can start fresh and build again. You don't need to start fresh. You're halfway into this project already. It's the same message coming through over and over again. If you're single and looking, there may be someone who's very artistic. I see someone, a painter. Even someone who was your muse in the past. If you are artistic, someone who inspired and encouraged your artwork, you might be returning to them. I just heard Eli Roth, who's an Aries. That's so funny. It doesn't really look like him. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but Eli Roth is an artist, right? He does he has actually a good show on AMC. It's like the history of horror. Eli Roth, right? He did Hostel and, some of those cheeky teen horror movies. He's an Aries. I don't know why that's coming up, but maybe there are some filmmakers in the house. I don't know. I just heard that and I'm like, oh, he is an Aries. That's so interesting. That's up to you. I don't know what to do with that, but interesting. Maybe that's someone's name. Maybe those are some names. Ross, something like that. A lot of you are going to get in touch with that person of the past, especially your Cancer or Pisces, who you kind of know they were the one, but you let your shadow side impede on something that was supposed to grow, like Empress vibes, right? It's like this seed that was meant to grow to the oak tree. the love was there. This is not someone you have mixed feelings about. It's like you left and you've always regretted it. A lot of my Aries, you're going to pursue that again. Because you're facing your shadow side. You know, this is the skeleton in the closet. This is the lower vibrational thought of everything I touch turns to shit, or every time I get involved in something, they break my heart, so I'm going to break theirs before. You know what I mean? We're dealing with this and we're getting rid of it for good. And I think a lot of you, especially reaching out to your female. So again, same-sex couples included. There's a female who's getting word here from an Aries. It's like, hey, I don't know if you're going to go as far to say, I'm sorry. I'm actually not hearing that. But it's more like, can we talk about this? Because I think at minimum, you should clear it out of your headspace. There's something that's been weighing on you. And yeah, I don't know. I think things may just turn in a very positive direction. So your overall outcome is the world. You've graduated. This is not your story anymore. It used to be, and it made you who you are today, for better or worse. And the thing is, though, it's for better. I just don't think you always view it that way. You had to go through this hardship because it taught you something very important about yourself and your spiritual growth, and how whatever this sort of toxic or uncomfortable thing that happened to you, rather than letting it take over your personal relationships, right, romantic or business, it's time to actually kind of like look this fucker in the face and be like, you don't control me anymore. I control me. And you've graduated. This is a card of celebrations and freedom. And it is a card of Saturn, which is very directly related to the devil or Capricorn energy. Saturn is all about obstacles and restrictions. Where? In your partnerships, in your contracts in life. I heard soul contracts. Interesting. You've graduated. It's almost like if you're this beautiful woman in the middle, right? In metaphor, even my dudes out there, it's like you've birthed yourself through a new canal and you're coming out on the other end, and you're different than you were in the past. Something has changed in you, and the strong relationships remain if you want to pursue them. Hopefully you didn't burn any bridges, but yeah, you may be returning to someone in the past who you haven't seen in many years. It could be as much as like 20 years ago. And the thing is, I'm almost getting, you're the one that got away. You just didn't realize that. So now you're looking back, you're like, I really did like that person. I say do it. I say do it, Aries. All right, let's pull you an oracle card. I'm just curious to see what comes out. Gold. You don't need someone else to fix you. I love that. And she's got her teacup. Hashtag the intuitive teacup. And villain, you can always rewrite the story. Absolutely. That fits in with this too. I think a lot of my Aries grew up, or something they experienced in their youth or childhood or even in college. It really took its emotional toll on you. It was like physically exhausting. You went through some sort of hardship, and I don't necessarily think you were the one who initiated it. Again, it's almost like victim of circumstance. And the thing is, I don't think you've been living in this victim mentality consciously. But again, you may have been self-sabotaging because of something. I'm repeating my message, but you know what I mean. You're rewriting the story. And you certainly never have to return to anybody in the past, but I can flat out tell there's probably multiple people in the past who would love for you to return with staying power this time. Anyway. All right, Aries, thanks for sticking around. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below it resonates. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys. What's good, beautiful Sagittarius gang? Welcome to your tarot reading. As I've been giving the disclaimer to all the signs, these have been deep, very profound messages. So as much as I love to do my little sips mini love tarots, probably not happening here. Certainly if messages of love or job opportunities come up, I will absolutely share those with you. It is my job as the messenger, right? However, come into this with the expectation that this is Scorpio season, guys. Like, universe is like, let's dig deep. Let's talk about the skeletons in your closet. Like, what do we need to heal, transform, fix, and, phoenix from the ashes? Your voice, your power. I almost called you Scorpio. Interesting. Does it have to do with a Scorpio? Sagittarius, you need to reclaim your power. You need to draw a line in the sand, and I'm sort of getting it ends here. I'm getting we're done, or this is mine. Like, this is my destiny. This is my future. This is my life. I'm like warrior mode. Like, I am showing up in my own life, conquering. Anyway, we're gonna hop into it. Let's get some cards for Sag. I never use this deck because it's hard to shuffle, but it's actually a really great deck, so I should use it more. All right. Celtic Cross, baby, the original. All right, so this may have to do with your work, Eight of Pentacles. There's death. All right. You know there's an ending coming in. your highest vibration, right? When you are firing on all cylinders, Sag, when you're listening to your intuition and honoring your heart, using your head, your spirit, your creativity, your fun, your magic, your highest vibrational self knows there's an ending here. At minimum, something in this scenario, which we're going to dig deeper into, knows this requires huge transformation and a release. Anytime death card shows up, I've been making the metaphor, nature. We're going through Scorpio season, a death cycle in nature. The leaves are falling, parts of the earth are decaying, and then they will grow again, in the spring, right? What in your life has run its course? What are you resisting or allowing nature to take its natural course and organically die out? It's like you're finished with it, but for some of you, I don't know. It could be with that Ace of Swords, your mind is still not convinced it's over, or there's again it could be a phoenix from the ashes, that epiphany, the mind, the Ace of Swords, the insight of, I know how to fix this now. If I've been kind of dragging along or dragging my ass or avoiding it entirely. The Ace of Swords is a great card. I'm interested. I want to hop in. Let me just pull a few more cards. All right, let's see. Oh, goodness. Sorry, Sag. Give me a second. They're popping. I love it. Yeah, how do other people see you? As the Emperor? Male or female? They see you as a badass motherfucker. Just kidding. All right, let's do it. And, okay, you have options. You have options and decisions to make. Bottom of the deck. Okay. Classic Sagittarius, am I right? No, you guys know I love you, but I don't think I've ever done a reading for you where this card didn't show up. It's a Gemini card, and yet I associate it with Sag because it always comes up in your reading. You guys you got a lot of thoughts, you got a lot of ideas, but somehow they don't always transpire in the way that you hope them to. And again, because you are that Jupiter energy, it's that always optimistic. Things will work out eventually. And you're absolutely right, they will. This is saying in the in-between, though, the stress, the anxiety of getting it together and putting a practical plan is part of what's going to help you to bring it into fruition. Because I'm not saying change your mindset. If anything, maybe it's like take off the rose-tinted glasses. It's time to be more practical. And maybe it is saying maybe we got to think things through a bit more. Or maybe it's saying you're thinking it through way too much. Maybe you need to get back that optimism. Yeah, that's what it is for me. With Three of Wands underneath, you are burdening yourself with fears and anxieties of something that hasn't even transpired yet. And I think you need to end something, or there's an ending of any kind, different categories of life, career, finances, love life, family relationships, whatever. Your highest vibe knows this is a healthy ending. This is a necessary one for your individual spiritual growth. But God, it's a lot to think about, and it kind of scares me, and I'm a little bit fearful of it. This is about putting on this is so beautiful. Three of Wands says your ships are coming in. This is about having faith. That as long as you put your best foot forward, the universe is going to match your vibe. So if this is your vibe, this is what the universe is throwing at you. Anxiety, stress, sleepless nights, giving up your power, your individual power as a being to the negative thoughts. It's a prison, right? It looks like prison bars, sort of. This is saying your ships are coming in, but you can't see them yet. So this is about having faith that if you put your best foot forward to solve those tricky situations that you're kind of getting lost in your head about, good things are coming into you, and you're damn right they are, right? This ace, this new beginning, it's fire, it's you, it starts with you. All aces start with us as the magician, right? We have all the tools in our tool belt, so to say. This is inspiration, this is passion, this is self-expression, communication. Did I already say creativity? I heard laughing. This is comedy. This is reasons to be joyful and, again, optimistic, positive. This breakthrough comes when you look at the tower that's already in your life. There's an avoidance to see the truth. There's an avoidance to understand why this came through. And quite simply, the tower is sort of, I jokingly call it like the shitstorm. Something passes by, something comes through to break the structure down so that we can rebuild it properly. This is Mars energy, very much tied to the element of Scorpio, which is about death and regeneration, but also phoenix from the ashes. You can rebuild this. Universe is asking you to acknowledge that it needs to come down so we can do it better the second time. Because ultimately, these are lessons. There's valuable knowledge to be gained here about why it didn't go right the first time, or the second time, or the third time, right? Death is about cycles in our life. Is there something that you keep attempting to do, only you're not changing up the ingredients? I'm thinking of your card, the Temperance card, the blending of opposites, right? Passing that water back and forth between cups. there may be a cycle where every time you try and build the structure, metaphorically, whatever this means to you, but you keep doing it the same and getting the same results. This is about shaking it up and welcoming in the insight, the epiphany, the illumination, the fire sign, right? Of, okay, we're going to stop doing it this way. We're going to take on a new perspective, or we're going to use different ingredients. We're going to match with new people. Whatever it is, there's a victory in the solution of how you solve this problem. And I do think it has to do with new. Relying on old methods that don't work for you, that don't serve you, that are not good for your mental health. I think universe is shaking this tower up to get you to do it right this time around. And you're very conflicted about it. This may have to do with constantly arguing with a spouse, or it could be a romantic partner or a family dynamic. For some of you, this might be saying, try as you might to bring optimism to some sort of family dynamic. If they're not willing to meet you halfway, it's never, do you understand? It's separating yourself from people who don't match your vibe and your goal and your energy. You may constantly go into relationships as, I'm going to rescue this person. They need me, and that makes me feel good. And I know that I can bring my warmth and my fire to them. Only if you're matching with people, maybe this isn't you. Maybe these are constant relationships in your life where they're doomed to fail because this person doesn't love themselves, right? This person doesn't practice self-love and they don't value themselves in relationships. So, and I'm not trying to be negative. This is a harsh message, but it's like, if they don't have a cup of love just for themselves, what could they possibly offer to you in a relationship, right? And maybe you're guilty of that too. I am wanting to pair these together too about the idea of the soulmate. We just had 11/11, right? November 11th, which, in the spiritual community, that's a very loaded, heavy packed day, right? Am I on the right course? Am I on the right spiritual alignment? That's why I'm calling these videos spiritual alignment readings, because these are bigger than just crushy feelings. This is like the universe is crushing me. Help. How do I get out of this? For some of you, there may be something about the final releasing of a soulmate, or going towards, again, possibly the new one that Spirit is trying to get you to see. This card really is about having faith. If you keep showing up to your own life and doing the work and putting your best foot forward, it doesn't mean being perfect. It absolutely doesn't mean being perfect, but it does indicate a need to be introspective and very honest with yourself about where you stand on an issue where it's uncomfortable to, again, address the elephant in the room, unearth the skeleton in the closet, but it's not going away. So why not? No better time than the present to actually do this in Scorpio season, where, again, the universe is giving you permission. This doesn't have to exist in your life anymore. It's almost like universe is like, you name it, Sag. What do you want to get rid of? Like, a wizard comes out with his magic wand. He's like, just point to what you don't want to be in your life anymore. Now, it's not that simple, obviously, right? But I think it's getting you to acknowledge, what are you holding on to? And I'm almost getting Cancerian vibes of sentimentality. I don't want to let go because I need it. But it comes from a state of lack. It comes from a state of fear of, but what if I let that person go and I want them back? If you love something, let it go. If it's yours, it'll come back to you, right? And that's for anything. That can be for a job. That can be for a very unhealthy, toxic relationship with someone in your family who maybe they are, what is the word? I'm sort of getting authoritarian type vibe. An abuse of power, especially their verbal communication, could be very negative. It could always be telling you that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you have to grow up. I'm almost getting, you get told that you have a Peter Pan complex a lot, right? Like, I always want to be a little boy and to have fun, right? That's what makes you magical, though. That's what makes you special. I don't think universe is asking you to lose that, being in touch with your inner child and that optimism. And again, I always have to do the duality of these messages, because if you're hearing me say that and you're like, that's not me, like, all I do is work, I'm stressed out, I have no fun, well, that's your solution then. You need to adopt that, let's fly off to Never Neverland for the day and have fun, right? Getting in touch with the inner child. I guess I'm wanting to pair these together because there does seem to be a difficult thing, or a difficult, how do I want to phrase this? Release of a soulmate. It doesn't mean that it didn't serve a purpose. It absolutely did. It got you to some sort of solid foundation in your life. But I am sort of getting a Viking funeral, right? When you put it in the little ship and send it off and don't you like light it on fire? Again, Phoenix from the ashes. Setting something free, if it's meant to be yours, it will come back to you organically, and you don't need to stress about it. Give it up, give it to God. Allow the universe to run its natural course of things so that you're not fighting with it. Whether this is an internal fight or potentially physical, mental battle with some sort of obstacle in your life, it could even be your battle with depression or your battle with anxiety, right? Again, if you could pick anything in the room or anything about yourself, what do you want to change and transform? Universe says, finally, let's do it, Sag. I want to work with you. Let's get rid of this fucker, right? Let's do it together. If you show up, the universe will match your vibe. Yeah, you have an Ace of Pentacles coming in, possibly with a lover. Possibly an Aries, a Gemini. Anyway, I'm trying not to make this about the other. I want to make this reading about you. But I am just making you aware there could be a reconnection with a soulmate who is very solid. This is not someone who's messy with their love. This is not someone who's manipulative. This is not someone who gives you half-assed offers. This is someone who is like their gold in the hand. What they offer to you is substance. It is real. It is solid. But again, are you in a place to receive that? Because maybe you haven't been. Maybe there's, someone that you're always wanting to bring it to the next level with, and I don't mean offense, Sag, but it could be that you're self-sabotaging. Just putting it out there, right? Okay, let's dig deeper into this. A lot of you are just unhappy with your job. You're feeling like you're overdue for a raise and for a promotion, and you are. You're absolutely right. And some of you just got one, though, but you're still thinking more. Bigger is better. Jupiter energy, right? What's impeding upon your growth or ability to have more success in a job or in a relationship or in money is committing yourself to the work and understanding it's going to take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. You're being asked to practice patience. That's going to be important for a lot of you regarding lucrative things. It's also saying, I'm seeing some of you moving to the city, being in a more advantageous location would serve a lot of my Sagittarians, whether that's city or country. It's like, are you in the right city to do what you want to do? Do you understand what I mean? I just heard Nashville. Interesting. Any musicians out there? Or, I don't know. I'm sure there's other things booming in Nashville, but I just heard that. Anyway, the other key that's going to help you unlock this door if you've hit an obstacle is to stop passing off the responsibility of making decisions for yourself to other people, which I have to admit, I don't strongly feel that is typically a Sagittarian vibe, but there's a mixed variety of you out there. So it could be that your moon sign is really what's driving the ship right now, and maybe, your Sag side is taking the back seat. There's something about I want to get ahead, but my issue is, how do I manifest that? You are the magician. You hold the tools. So it's I don't know if it's not about asking permission, or again, it's, I would like to do this. Is it okay with you? May I? Can I? Should I? Be polite. I'm an advocate of that, but this is kind of saying you're controlling the ship. You're the captain of the ship. You have the reins. You have the power to manifest this. It's not tremendously hard, but it does have to do with introspection. It's not about asking the other. It is a card of Mercury, which does have, ties to communication, anything to do with technology and travel, philosophy, ideas, teaching, writing. Give me one more on this. What is the deal here? I think a lot of you are meant to go rogue, especially if you're doing, and I'm not shitting on this at all. Some people are very happy with this, and that's, reason to celebrate. If you're doing the whole office cubicle life and you're like, I can't. You're right. Universe says no. This is not for you. We need to find something else where you're honoring what it is that your heart is calling you out to do. The Magician is all about confidence. Even if you have to fake it till you make it, this is about standing up for what you truly believe in. And a lot of you feel like you are I'm hearing feeding a corporate monster, or you are participating in some sort of job or activity or family dynamic where it philosophically contradicts what you stand for, and the dude does not abide. You can't do that anymore because it's like this, you morally, ethically don't agree with it. And so universe is saying, yeah, I agree with you. Why are we still here? So again, why are we still here? Maybe it's a lucrative stream of income and you need it. Okay, you're being smart. You're being strategic. That's good. but you need to make an escape route. You need to make an escape plan. And it's going to be tricky. Maybe you want to go after a job where there's far more competition, or maybe that's what's giving you anxiety is you're at a job where you come in very passionate and you want to grow and thrive, but you get there and you're like, I am nowhere at the same level of these people. Maybe it's not the right space for you. Or, it could also be saying, who cares about everyone else? You are an individual, right? The magician, the one. Your work is just as valid. Maybe it's slightly different than the output of everyone else, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It just means you need to find your niche. You need to make sure it's going to a source that is worth your time and energy. Give me one more on this, please. I see a lot of fashionista or graphic designer type stuff too. The path. Strength. Yeah. Pathway. I don't know. This has good vibes all over it. I got to be honest. Whatever this is. It has the gift and the path. So, again, abandoning ship too early, maybe a self-sabotage. We anticipate things going wrong. And so I just gave a reading to Aries that was very similar, actually. And so rather than them bring the tower down on you, rather than them letting you go or firing you, you immediately start to come up with reasons why you need to leave. It's not the right fit. It's like, I'm going to beat them to the punch. You might be self-sabotaging. This opportunity, whether you are thriving or frustrated, it's saying that if you keep going down the path, there's a gift to be found there from the universe, and it's shiny and it's delightful, and you're really going to like it. So I would hold on quitting this if you are leaving out of a place of fear and anxiety. That's not a healthy vibe. If you can completely close out this cycle and say, I'm not happy there. It served my purpose, but I know I'm due for more. I know I can create more. Okay, then that's a high vibrational thinking. Do you understand what I mean? There is a gift. There is something valid in whatever work you're doing now. There's a lesson attached to it, right? Ace of Swords. So in the past, you have the Empress. Some of you are struggling with a mother or a very prominent female figure in your life who I think you're very intimidated by. The thing is, I'm being called to say you match up, though. This female actually does think very highly of you, even though you may feel like you don't measure up. I don't know what this is. There's anxiety about a domineering female. I think you have a false perception of this, though, Sag. I think this person, if it's they would mentor you. I'm hearing the word tutor. So it has to do with one's course of study, their student, internship, something like that. Something like that. There's real quick, what is this Empress? It's the past. So, the past is in the past. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just going to confirm something for some of you. The Empress is, this is a really good opportunity. It's someone you respect a lot, but I think you're very intimidated by them. I think this is a lovely match. I think there's great compatibility. You can make it romantic if you want. It could simply be love. It could be friendship. It could be walking away from a boss who is like, listen, Sag, I'll train you. Like, you're going to have to start at the bottom, but there's huge potential for growth. And I don't know if the lack of freedom, if having to commit to a job for 10 years, I'm literally getting they can't do something. It's like you're trying to hide something from mom and dad. I don't know what that is. It's silly, but it's also a little bit immature. I'm sorry, Sag, don't shoot the messenger. Whatever or whoever this Empress is presenting to you symbolically in your past, did you walk away from it too soon? I'm just posing the question. This could also be a family dynamic that you're really looking to bring peace and harmony to, because there's generational aspects of I'm getting value. Sure, it could be wealth or inheritance or something like that. But now it's meant to stand the test of time. You guys need to heal any awkward family dynamics. What are we ending here? Any specifics? Someone who's what is the word? Breadcrumbing you. Molly always uses that on her channel. They're giving you, ooh, Sagittarius, I almost lost you there. I freaked out because my camera just shut off. So anyway, we're here, we're doing it, we're back in it. Breadcrumbing. Who is giving you nothing but small offers, small potatoes, small peanuts, when I think you should be shooting for pie in the sky. That's sort of what the Magician is saying to me too. It's like, reach high, as above, so below. If I can dream it, I can create it. And you're absolutely right, you can. There may be some fear or anxiety about doing it, but I mean, I guess take the proper steps to start building the life of your dreams if you're not doing that already, and leaving behind what doesn't serve you. This could also be a future relationship, whether it's career or romantic, that I think in the past you chose to sever ties with it and leave it behind, but it actually does serve you in your life. There's something very valuable about this connection, about this friendship. And I'm getting very warm vibes from the Empress, Taurus, and Libra energy. Again, it's Earth. It's steady. It's solid. It's stable. It's not like a fly-by-night operation. She's in it for the long haul. Are you? Are you, Sagittarius? So in your hopes and wishes, I think you want to be released of this feeling of anxiety, of burden, of always, and I'm not saying this is true, but I think your perception of it is every time I try something, it fails, or it just doesn't come into fruition the way I want it to. The star is saying we need to heal that part of your mind that believes that you are not capable of doing it. That you're always getting yourself in over your head, taking on too much task and responsibility. Can you delegate rather? The star brings light and healing and sort of divine wisdom. So it's not saying run from this. I think it's saying let's heal it once and for all. Again, like the metaphor, the skeleton in the closet. Because I think if we keep running over time, this adds up and it becomes almost like a lead weight. You're always dragging it around with you energetically, of ideas or whatever of past failures, but it's physically impacting your body. And there really are no failures. There's opportunities for lessons and growth, and that's what we're doing, right? But it's separating what is serving you and what isn't. Some of you have an Aquarius coming in that maybe wants to work with you, or resolution with an Aquarius where there's been a lot of stuff going on here. I think it would be your hope and your goal to relieve yourself of the unnecessary stuff regarding that. And maybe you're going to give it another shot. I don't know, but I'm sort of hearing your fear is that you'll never heal from this. Well, you are, I was about to say you are what you eat. That's not what I meant to say. You are who you hang with, but also your mind, your reality is what the universe says yes to. So if you're telling yourself, I'm always going to be this way, life is always going to be difficult and heavy, I'm never going to be able to heal from this, you're right, you won't. So you may as well, Ace of Swords, change your perspective. And that's what I mean. There's a beautiful energy of Sagittarius of forever the optimist. And that tends to bring you good fortune and good luck, but it also tends to bring you a lot of riffraff too, and it's about separating what's useful and what is not. Just because everybody's given you these gifts doesn't mean they're all worth your time and your effort and your energy to utilize them. You get to pick which gifts you want. You need to be more discerning. There needs to be more logic put into why am I accepting this offer? Why am I choosing this romantic partner? Why am I accepting this job offer? Does it serve you in your spiritual path, or is it out of boredom? Is it out of curiosity? And again, I'm not necessarily saying that's bad. I think we need to be more particular with what we're manifesting and why. I'm also getting a message here of some of you are really desiring to work from home, because it would be something about the freedom of being able to make your own schedule, work at your own hours, work at your own pace. For some of you, that seems like it would be delightful. For others of you, I'm also getting, but I would miss the social connection. So again, you have two very strong ideas of what you want. Can you find a way to merge those concepts together? Can you still work from home some days and have that freedom and that, ability to make your own schedule, your own time, but then a couple times a week, can you go out and meet the clients or do the sales calls or whatever it is? It's about combining the gifts and, again, using it to the best of your ability and to your advantage. Advantageous is what I'm hearing. You have I use this very sparingly because, again, I'm not trying to paint false hope, but the way I'm hearing it is you have a miracle coming in. Something that you thought was always going to be a pain in your life and something that just kept playing it out over and over and over again, it actually is going away. It's like your ships are coming in and it's coming in the form of sweet relief. Sometimes this card has a spiritual or a religious connotation. More than anything, though, it's about accepting help from the divine. They hear your prayers. They know this isn't fun and they want to help you end it. But again, you have to show up and tell the universe that you're actually ready to end it this time, whatever that is for you. So interesting. Look at you, Sag. Double star cards. This is a very, very good card. It is about being vulnerable. It's about being truthful and knowing when you need to, again, separate yourself energetically from things and people that they're not helping you. They're hindering your spiritual growth. So this is about hitting reset and, quite frankly, spending some time on your own introspectively. Not to go deep and dark and get all nervous and anxious. It's not about that. It's about decluttering why you were feeling like that in the first place. And again, feeling hopeful about it. This is about hopes and dreams and wishes. So something that some of you have been hoping for, but you're like, oh, it's not coming in. It's not coming in. I actually think it is, but I think you have to make a step to go get it. It's not saying you have to do all the work entirely. If anything, I'm being told you guys need to stop volunteering to do everything for everyone. Yeah, your ships are coming in the form of, I almost want to use the word miracle. So take it with a grain of salt, right? I'm using that word lightly, but I'm hearing it, so why the hell wouldn't I tell you, right? Something about a miracle is coming into you, but you actually have to get in your boat, and it's almost like meet them halfway. And that is a sign of compatibility to me. Reciprocity. If you take a step, so will I. This is not about, hey, can you do 9,000 things for me? And I'll just take minimum wage for it, right? No, that's not going to work. This may have to do with an empress. So again, whether this is a business partner or romantic or, again, a family dynamic, you always have relationship messages, platonic or not. You have to make the first move is sort of what I'm getting. If you want to go from rocky waters, stress, anxiety, feeling burdened, feeling overwhelmed, putting your best foot forward to be like, no, I'm going to solve this because mental clarity is so important to me that I'm willing to fight for it this time. I'm willing to stare down the scary monster, the devil in the face and be like, you have no power over me. This is about taking back control of your life. The universe is like, oh, look at Saggy showing up. Hit him with the miracles. Like, it's like you get a car and you get a car. When you show up to your own life, Sag. And I know I am trying to give you empowerment and encouragement. You're in a tough spot. These cards are not fun. These cards are heavy, but rather than sinking deeper into it and feeling lost, universe is saying like, let's go dark. It's uncomfortable. We don't like to face our shadow side, but that's the side of you that's holding yourself back. As much as you want to push the blame and be like, oh, well, I'm the victim of circumstance in this. You can do that, but does it help you heal? No. Eventually, you have to come to terms with this happened to me, and the only thing I can do is control how I react to it. You can't control anyone else, right? And you know this. I know you know this. But it's about dealing with that side where there is a sense of loss or disappointment or whatever is you're acquiring or requiring your attention to heal. That's the ship that's coming into you. Before it's a relationship or a job, what's coming to you is this healing. And like, again, the universe will meet you halfway, but you have to take the first steps to show that you're actually in to do it. This could even be struggling with like an addiction issue or something that it's impacting your work life and it's impacting your love life or something like that, right? Yeah, it's like you have to go and chase the star. It's not just going to come to you, but also it is coming to you. Again, reciprocity. It's 50-50. It takes two to tango. That's what I'm wanting to say. Any dancers in the house? Tango? Yeah, practical steps. Slow forward movement to make very important changes in your life about growth, stability, establishing roots. Maybe you're, like I said in the Aries reading, if you've been living on the run, just as things get settled and comfortable, if your intuition is to bolt, maybe it's saying, hey, let's plant some seeds. Let's watch them grow. Let's establish things more, right? Yeah. Toxic relationships, codependency, obsession, addictions. Yeah, I saw the devil card. Yeah, it's time to flee from them. Move away from the devil. Is that a Capricorn? Move away from the Capricorn. No, I'm just kidding. I love my Capricorn gang actually quite a bit. Yeah, there's a victory here. You have very good, beautiful blessings coming in. Don't block them. Don't self-sabotage. If up until this point you're like nothing ever goes right, well then you're not doing it right. You need to change a pattern of behavior and sever off the part of you that is wanting to go more negative or fuel the devil, right? The shadow side, which exists in all of us. If you're kind of marrying yourself to the fact that nothing ever goes right, again, it's like, that we got to change our vibe. We got to step up and do the work because we are no longer the victim of circumstance. We are the magician. We control our destiny. This is like, go out and get it. This is like Rocky Balboa running up the stairs and doing the dance, right? That's you, Sag. That's your new vibration. How other people see you as sought after. Very interesting. And here's the thing. You see yourself as a very loyal and dependable friend. You do tend to rush to people's rescue. Unfortunately, you may have chosen the wrong people to do that with, and so you got burned, right? Again, it served you in the long run. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it did. It was a valuable encounter with, honestly, like an earth angel, because it was meant to get you to recognize something about yourself. You see yourself as capable of huge growth. You see yourself as able to accomplish great things if you could only get past this. And so I'm telling you, you can get past this. Whatever we want to call it, Cinderella story, rags to riches story, it happens every day, Sag. It's no different for you. You are capable of making great changes, but no one's going to do it for you. You are responsible. You are accountable. And taking the disappointments and the shitstorms and the people who didn't treat you well, it's about accepting it and then moving on. It's not your prison anymore. You don't have to live in that headspace. People see you as romantic. People see sought after romantically, friendship-wise, but I do see romance. There's a single lady or a single man. There's no marriage involved here. They have their eye on you. But so you may be involved in a relationship now, and someone else is hoping or waiting for you to detach from them. And it might be a Queen of Pentacles, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That could also be who you're currently with. I'm not saying yay or nay on either. I'm just saying you seem to have romantic options. And I guess, is that the temptation though? I'm wondering, is the devil, the shadow side in you, to hop from one to another when universe is really trying to get you to move on to yourself? The star is a card of independence. It's just you and God. It's you and spirit. It's you and source and universe, right? So I'm sort of getting, can we push the other options aside just for the time being so we can really get the value and the lessons of this? It's almost like the universe is putting you through the school of the hard knocks. They're trying to get you to see something about yourself. You alone, you standing on your own 2 feet, is a victory in itself. You don't need anybody. It's okay to want to be with other people, and you will be, Sag, right? This isn't a death sentence. But it's saying in order to heal this, it's time for independence. It's time to do it on your own, because you're going to feel so much better about it. You're going to go into a next relationship having healed your own wounds, confident and courageous and proud that you were able to do this. You were able to face that shadow side of you that it was uncomfortable, you didn't want to do it, but you did, and you came out the other side. A changed woman, a changed man, right? I see you taking it slow, to be honest, and I think you know that. It's not the time to rush into something. It's the time to, whether you're exiting a relationship or a job, if you can't do it all at once, and probably shouldn't, slow, practical steps to build in a new direction. That's when you get your gift. There's a blessing from the universe. I just keep hearing that. You do have very strong cards, Sag. The Tower and the Nine of Swords is what's holding you back, and I did see the Devil, but it didn't come out. We got to fix that, and it probably has to do with yourself, your shadow side, right? All right. Some of you are going to own your own business. You're going to start your own business, or you're going to merge off of a partnership and start your own, because you don't see potential in the long-term stability of the two of you. You're going to do it yourself, and you're going to do it better. It's been an uphill battle, though. I'm seeing many ups and downs, strikes and gutters, peaks and valleys. It's because the roots that were established were never solid. You're going to stick the landing this time. The Emperor has had to wear his battle armor before. He's been through many ups and downs. He's been and seen many towers in life. He doesn't just stop because he's tired. He doesn't stop because the going gets tough. He's like, okay, we got to rebuild this. It's going back up, but let's rebuild it better. What didn't we do this time before? What changes can we implement now to ensure our success? That's important. You have interesting. Who are you not collaborating with that would be useful to you in your career trajectory? Who can help you build the empire and not have it result in this again? Implementing changes, and for you, Sagittarius, it's who you are working with. It's the people you are choosing to share your energy and your vibe with. It's just not helping you right now. So work with people you trust, but also sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot by working with your friend, because then it makes it an awkward dynamic. The Emperor should work with the Empress. It doesn't have anything to do with gender. It has to do with these two are on the same page. They have the same goals. There's compatibility. And you know this person already. This is in your past. This is your mother. I don't know. Are you guys going to open your own, I don't know, bakery, and you're going to use mom's old recipe book? Like, dude, this can mean a lot of different things, but the Emperor already knows who the Empress is. It's just that determination to make an offer. And maybe you have to swallow your pride. Maybe you burn this person. Maybe there was a brutal fight between you, but deep down you know, yeah, like at minimum I should heal this for the own mental sanity, for the clarity of it, of not feeling guilty or weird. But also it's advantageous for both of you. There's compatibility here. You nurture each other's cup. I'm just putting it out there. Okay, moving on. If you were to make an offer to the Empress or the Emperor, you know, however you want to phrase it, it's not gender, it's who they are in the deck. They're major arcana. The Emperor and the Empress build the empire. Very strong career cards. If you were to make the offer, it would be accepted. I'm hearing they would have to think about it, but yeah, they're a softie on the inside. They got that Venus energy inside them. There's love here. So again, even if it's just friendship, there's a mutual respect and admiration for one another, because you both pack a lot of heat. A powerhouse, I'm hearing. Together, you guys can do this better. It would be stronger. And it's not to say that you can't go rogue and independent. I think a lot of you will. I think that's what this card is. But you don't have to get there on your own. Ask for help along the way. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting. I just heard that's what doctors are for. That's what psychiatrists are for. Anyway. Potential outcome. This is beautiful. So your highest vibrational mind knows something in this scenario, in this equation, needs to be released. It needs to be sacrificed in order to make practical steps to move ahead. Your advice or guidance is, what are those practical steps? Possibly something to do with children. I'm not sure why that's coming through specifically to children, but in your advice or guidance, it's yes, what are the practical steps? This is earth energy. We're building it physically with our hands. We're doing it. We're not dreaming about it. We're not thinking about it. We're not intuitively whatevering it. It's like, okay, it's go time. Let's do it. Again, realistic expectations. It's not going to happen overnight, but you know, a penny a day in the jar adds up. That's the metaphor. Start doing it. Start building it. Make the gesture, Sagittarius. Does that make sense to any of you? Make the gesture. Potential outcome. All right, 7 of Cups. So again, options. I don't know what these options are. Is it more options in job applications? Is it or you know what I mean, job callbacks? Or give me some more. What is the 7 of Cups about? It's not a bad card. Sometimes it's saying don't live in illusion, live in the practicality. You know, really, especially if you have strong Cap in your chart, utilize that Capricorn energy of stability, responsibility. But also, though, it's mixing it with a little bit of fun, a little bit of creativity, a little bit of magic. Magician. Shopping. Some of you have an addiction to shopping. You have bad spending habits. So just close that up or tighten it up. Tighten it up with the bank account. Some of you are going to be moving. And you're going to start looking for a new residence or a new place. This could be for your individual office space. This could be quite literally your house. Some of you may be moving cross country or in other countries. There's travel, and there's also something with land and property. It's not bad. If you look at this card, this is not a scary 7 of Cups. This is like, oh my God, there's so many to choose from. Which do I pick? When you declutter the excess crap in your life, you're making space for so much more, and that's what the universe gives you. They're not just giving you one. They're giving you so much more. This has the potential to be life-changing, Sag, and it's been a long time coming. 10 of Wands says you've been holding on to this for years. Let's gut it out. Let's do the internal work. Let's face the shadow side. It's not comfortable. It's not fun. You would have done it years ago if it was. Will it be worth it, though? You bet your bottom dollar, Sag. You may be moving in with someone. Again, new spaces, new territories, conquering new lands as the Emperor, right? You may work in houses or homes or real estates or something to do with property in the home. One more. You're going to be reaching out to someone from your past. I think you guys are going to build this empire together. This could, possibly, not for all of you, obviously. All these messages are general. You may end up, I'm getting that this is both. Whether it's same-sex partnership or whatever, I feel like there's a business partnership that could also be romantic and somewhere, and I understand why, because it makes it messy. That's tricky. So I don't even really want to touch that. That's a judgment call. All I'll say about it is don't repeat past patterns. So if you have a habit of working with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you get each other jobs and it always ends in a tower, then don't. But there's something about the 4, right? The house, Cancer, the 4th sign of the zodiac, the house and the home. The Emperor needs the 4, the solid foundation, the platform, the traditional, right? The Empress is the one who kind of brings the bells and whistles and the fun and the Venus energy, the art, the creativity. There's a good, I heard simpatico, there's a good yin and yang to this, and you guys could create something amazing together, whether it's romantic or business or both or friendship, whatever this is. I see you reaching out. I'm hearing it's someone you may have burned. It's someone you may have... I'm not shaming you. I'm not saying you should feel guilty. The past is in the past. You already made the decision. It's fine. Let it go. Forgive yourself. But if you see value in this, why the hell wouldn't you revisit it? Right? That's common sense. All right, Sag, that's what I got for you. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in those comments down below what resonates. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys. What's up, Lion Gang? My beautiful, sexy Leos out there joining me here at the Intuitive Teacup. What's up, guys? Let's get you some empowerment message. Classic, old school Celtic cross style. I've been giving everybody the kind of general warning. These messages are deep. These are not the fluffy sunshine rainbows, who do I have a crush on thing. It's not about that. It's Scorpio season. Universe, God, Spirit, Source is wanting us to go deep in that closet and pull out the skeletons, right? The things that we're afraid to look at, the things we've been avoiding. More often than not, those are the messages that are being relayed to me in these tarot readings. So take it, take it with a grain of salt, open heart, open mind. You guys know the drill. But yeah, these are not going to be light and fluffy. I can just tell by the energy, and I'm good with that. I'm trying to honor my own kind of spirit guides and what I'm being told to relay. So let's go deep. Let's see what you need to transform in Scorpio season. All right, and there's the Scorpio card. In fact, it may have to do with a Scorpio. Let's just see. All right. Bottom of the deck. There you are, Leo. King of Wands, King of the Castle, male or female. This is your card. This is the fixed fire sign court card. Who's that? That's Leo. I just heard "Who's That Girl?" the new girl theme song. So especially for my ladies, it's confirming like a badass boss, right? That's funny. All right, so King of Wands, there's an offer being made to you. I'm actually getting this could be needing to repair something with your child or the opposite with your parents. There's something about the King to the Page. Those are not equal matches in terms of romantic partnership or even really business partnership, unless we want to look at this as a small one-time client or a one-time deal, selling off a piece of merchandise, or I don't know. Do you understand what I mean? Like the King of Pentacles gets the whole parade and the whole feast. He doesn't get this like slim pickings. So that's what I'm thinking. This is the best somebody could do, and maybe it's not enough, or maybe you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You can choose to view this through the lens of whatever. Romance, love, platonic love, family dynamics, business partnership. That's up to you. I'm just going to relay the messages. I'm confused about this offer. So again, the first thing that instantly came to mind is needing to repair something with a child who maybe, I'm sort of getting somebody made a mistake. And even in a more metaphoric or symbolic way, you could be dealing with someone who's very immature, childlike. So I don't necessarily see this as a good match romantically or business-wise, but if it's a family dynamic, it could be your little brother or your little sister or something like that. This is you. So interesting. That's sort of just what's coming through bottom of the deck. I'm hearing there was an illusion. Something about this dynamic. There was an illusion of what somebody wanted to offer versus what they could really offer. This feels like someone didn't follow through with a promise that they made to you. And so now there's confusion. Like, can I take this person at their word? Or are they going to keep, I've been using this word today, breadcrumbing, which I stole from another tarot reader who I very much admire. But yeah, there's like this, what do you really offer? What can this person really give to me? And especially message of like, to quote all my favorite tarot readers, what's in your cup, right? Jay from Aquarian Insight. you have to have a cup runneth over. You have to love yourself and have boundaries and how much you're willing to give in any relationship or partnership if you're going to, get into it with anyone else. You must have an overflowing cup of abundance, self-love, self-preservation, protection, or else what you're giving out is half-hearted offers or messy love. You may have been dealing with someone who is loving out of a place of lack, out of a place of fear, out of a place of clinginess, whatever that is. I think that may be a theme that comes into this reading, or potentially something you may have to deal with in the future. Bottom of the deck to me says it's not necessarily that we're in the thick of it, but it's potentially something coming up. So for some of you, this is an apology to rebuild, but I do want to say it's not the big spectacle you're hoping it's going to be. Honestly, it's all this page can do. Pages are children or students, so even in metaphor, this person is still learning the ropes of how to love or how to collaborate efficiently and effectively. I think they're giving it a second chance. It's not new because it's a page, but I don't think it's really meeting your expectation or your desire. Just putting it out there. I just heard fool me once. So that's what I mean with the Seven of Cups. Sometimes this can be a card of substance abuse. I don't really think it's that. It could be for some of you. Mostly this is the idea of illusion and sometimes disillusion, lunacy even, right? There's this element of escapism, via drugs and alcohol, or just quite simply the idea of the fantasy. I thought this Page of Pentacles was going to be my Queen of Wands, my divine pairing, my suitor, my business partner. But it's like the illusion, the curtain has been lifted to see they're not a bad person, but they're a Page of Pentacles. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. I think this has to do with a very matter-of-fact choice and decision, and you're having to make it based on the evidence that is right in front of you, and that is the evidence card. That is the proof, right? The pentacles, the earthly things you can reach out and touch, the physical evidence. It's not this dreamy idea in the mindscape or this emotion and feeling of, oh, but it could be. It's like, no, this is what they're offering, so take it or leave it. I have a feeling a lot of you are going to leave it, but it is a difficult decision because there is either love or what you view as compatibility there. There's something why it's coming up in your reading, right? So I don't know if you want to call it a head over heart decision, maybe. But I think a lot of you, the curtain has been pulled and you're actually seeing what's underneath. Kind of like Wizard of Oz vibes, right? Who's the man behind the curtain, behind, the great and powerful Oz? It's just a page, right? And so for some of you, if this does have to do with your children or even your parent, you get to choose who you are in this. There may have been setting unrealistic expectations for what they're able to contribute to the relationship. Maybe they're old and they can't help you out the way they used to. Maybe your child is young and they're still learning and they're not quite as mature as you're hoping that they are. Doesn't mean they can't grow into it. Again, they're being presented as like the student energy, but there's something about false expectations or really asking a lot of someone and they just can't do it. It's not that they don't want to. To be honest, I think it crushes them that they can't meet your expectations, but universe is making aware of it. Like you may not be setting a fair, you know what I'm trying to say, like something about like contract negotiations. You may need to renegotiate. That's what I'm hearing. All right, let's look at your actual spread here. So first card out, and this is pretty much going to be like the major theme of your reading, what your current mindset or what you're hoping to accomplish. You want to push through the obstacles. This is a Leo card. Love seeing that. And it is a card about strength and determination. The Seven of Wands says that even though you may be being hit with a lot of obstacles, you may be really feeling that Saturn energy wherever it rests in your chart. Ultimately, you do have the higher ground. And I think a very important connotation or thing to note in this card rather is that even though in metaphor, of course, you have 6 people coming at you with communications or aggression or confrontation or just a lot of stress, maybe you have a lot going on at work. While there may be times where you question your confidence or there may be self-doubt, it's saying it is a fair fight though because you got God backing you. You have source, you have spirit, you have universe that's elevating you to have the higher ground. So this is testing your confidence, but it doesn't mean you won't push through. I actually do see this as a very, it's preparing you for something greater. This is a very necessary step for you. Again, whatever arena this is playing out in your life. And it could be multiple arenas, right? Maybe you're over the honeymoon stage of a relationship and now you've gotten to like the nitty gritty of, is it worth pursuing more? Like I'm starting to see this person's true colors and like, you know what I mean? It's like, do I see a future here? I think you're going to, swift action that moves forward once you break free from this obstacle. Following the 7 is the 8, which is rapid, swift action, movement, travel, communications coming in. So again, if you're applying to jobs and you're getting a lot of pushback, a lot of blocking, a lot of no, not this, no, you can't do that, a lot of closed doors, the 8 of Wands, which comes after this in metaphor, it's almost like the key to the locked door. It's like, okay, finally we're gaining some ground here. A lot of you are trying to transition into a new cycle in your life, but for some of you, the difficulty is your own doing because you're not letting go of what needs to be let go in order to embrace this new beginning. So timestamp, Scorpio season, right? In Scorpio season, yes, it's all these metaphors of phoenix from the ashes and transformation and skeletons in the closet and pointing out the elephant in the room. I've been using this terminology a lot, so if you're cross-watching, this is all going to sound familiar. To embrace new cycles in life, you need to open yourself up to receive newness, whatever that newness is. But with that, you also need to sacrifice something. You need to make an assessment of all these things that you're carrying around or trying to put forth in life. What is actually to your demise? What's actually slowing you down? I'm hearing there's a part of you that is nervous or not wanting to completely immerse yourself in newness. There's still something from the past that's sort of holding you back. For some of you, it's a Scorpio. I just heard the technique. Don't sweat the technique. I don't know. It's the technique or the attitude, the mental attitude of how you're embracing death. I always like to point out in this card, there's many different ways that, the same way that when I pull this card, every Leo out there is going, oh my God, is it good? Is it bad? People interpret this card different ways. Is it a literal death? Probably not. Almost never. And I wouldn't share those messages on my channel anyway, because that's not what I'm asked to do. But even more symbolically, not just the Leos out there, the people in this card, right? We have this Hierophant guy who's welcoming death because he's very spiritual. He knows he knows there's life after death, right? So he's standing up of all of them, welcome, saying, yes, come in. This is well overdue. We need this change. We need this spiritual transformation. Then you have this woman in the white who almost looks like the angel in your card, the Strength card, where she's just like I know it's coming, but I don't want to deal with it because I'm fearful of what's going to happen if I leave behind my old self or my own life. And then you have this child, which sort of reminds me of the child on the Sun card, right? And the blue has to do with our subconscious too, honoring the inner child. He's fascinated by it. He's not really certain what it is, right? Like, is this something to fear? Is it not? But he's not turning his back to it the way the woman is. He's intrigued by it, which to me is such like a Page of Wands fire sign energy. Like, ooh, what's this? This is new and exciting. Like, what possibilities await us here? And then there's this guy who's just like, it's over. I can't. Just bring death on. Like, I'm done with it. What's the point? Like, so it's saying, how are you handling this transition? And I think it's different for all my Leos out there, but it's saying the death card is presenting, right? And it's essentially coming in during this, I almost said struggle, so maybe. There's no use in fighting it because ultimately I think those doors are going to come down organically when they're supposed to. But how are you dealing with this change? I'm sort of getting a fear of change and mustering up the courage to keep moving forward with what you started. You need to finish what you started so that maybe you get to the victory and the end goal, or maybe you just have closure and clarity of not jumping too soon. That has been a huge theme in all my fire sign readings. Leaving too soon and then having regrets that you abandoned something. A lot of you need to fix that awkward situation with the family, or again, the parent-child dynamic. I almost see you, Leo, as I heard monkey in the middle. You may be the pacifist or the mediator between two arguing groups, and it's exhausting. It's like you just want this to end already, but the thing is, I'm not sure it's totally your battle. I think you're assisting in it. I think you're helping people out on their side or their position, or maybe this is political, right? I don't know what this is, but I see you as the kid in the middle, and I mean, the fact that you're kind of being presented as a child is cute anyway. But I don't think these people are in agreement, and it's putting a lot of strain on you. I don't know if you're working in a team of 3 people and it's always this person versus that, and you're just like, it's exhausting. So if that's the situation you're in, whether it's your parents or your best friends, if you're deciding between romantic partners, this is saying the end is coming, so make the choice. in your highest vibrational self, when you are the king of wands, when you are the truest Leo you know how to be, firing on all cylinders, making logical decisions, incorporating the emotions, the magic, the this, the that, your highest self knows you need to return to something that occurred in the past that there wasn't closure on, and you're metaphorically still replaying out the cycle over and over again. This comes right before the World card, which is about we're free. It's Saturnian energy. It's like we freed ourselves from that obligation or that responsibility that, yeah, this actually feels like something you're pushing through and you just want to get to the end. But I think you're like, is the end even in sight anymore? Like, is this wasted effort? No, it's not. There will be liberation. That's what the Eight of Swords says, which it isn't here yet, but it's coming. In fact, there it is. The Eight of, that makes the 8. You need to push through this because I think it's like you need to get to the bottom of something. I actually see you as, somebody who's like the common ground. Again, I heard medium. I wonder if any of you are doing like spiritual readings and communing with a higher power. I could even see it as that. There's something in the middle where your voice or your leadership skills are very much valued in this, but it seems like you haven't been gaining any ground. It seems like you're at a standstill. Yeah, I'm just being told you need to keep pushing forward because if you walk away, you'll always regret it. Or there will be this sense of just a lack of closure. Your highest vibration knows we need closure. Like, as much as it scares us to get involved in this again or to talk to our ex from the past or to rekindle a friendship with that person who they burned us or hurt us or vice versa, I think for your mental sanity, for your emotional health and wellness, it's time to clean house. And again, it doesn't mean you have to rekindle anything. It means you need to put an end to it so that you're not bringing it around here or here. I am getting family stuff. Yeah. This might have to do with a Sagittarius as well. Because, I think you're done carrying the weight of this burden. I think you're done with all the bullshit. Cleaning up other people's messes, or again, constantly being that person where every party goes to them to complain and vent, but they're not actually doing anything to help their own problem. It's like they're relying on you to do all the work for them. I think this is about setting healthy boundaries so that people who are in a negative headspace aren't dragging you down with them. Someone in your past was lying to themselves. What they said or did was immediately contradicted by their actions. This is kind of a sketchy card, right? It's a little suspect. It's a little suspicious. Sometimes it's the liar, cheater, thief card, or again, the words don't match the action. It's like, okay, I'm going to pack up all my swords and I'm going to leave, but I'm going to leave 2 behind just in case. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, what is that just in case? That's, I think, what Judgment is trying to get you to see. What did you purposely leave behind? Because again, it's subconsciously, I think you knew you were going to go back and revisit it at another time. And the fact that all these parent and child metaphors, particularly the mother, or it doesn't matter, the mother, the father, no matter who you are in this dynamic, you're being represented in these tarot cards as the child, where you are so ready for a change. You're looking at it as the kid like, oh my God, this could be really exciting. This could be really good for me and for us. There's pressure. I'm almost getting, it feels like the walls are closing in on you because there's pressure being put on you. And what I was saying was, I'm going to take all my swords, but I'm going to leave 2 behind. It's like, I'm going to leave the door open just in case I want to revisit it. And I think you're right. I think you do need to revisit it. I think you need to revisit the skeleton aspect of it. Maybe not the rose-tinted glasses of how great the friendship dynamic used to be or whatever. Although maybe that's part of it. But I think it has to do with doing the dirty work, getting your hands dirty and essentially getting to the bottom of, I'm just sort of getting like an awkward, again, middleman, but you're being manipulated by one or both parties. I could almost even see this as metaphorically as you're the judge and then you have the 2 different defendants and it's like, okay, well, this person or that. It's like you may be like quite literally the scales and your equilibrium is thrown off because it's like you don't know who to trust anymore. Both people are putting a lot of pressure and weight on you. This could be a career dynamic, but you may have been privy to someone else's secrets and you didn't feel comfortable holding them and it's eating away at you. You may have a friend who's been involved in like extramarital affairs or something of the sort, laundering money, whatever it is. I don't actually think this is you, but I think you knew about it, and the longer you sit on it, you're like, this is so uncomfortable. Like, I need to get rid of this. It's like, I can't participate in this relationship anymore because it's negatively impacting me. It's like a domino effect. I think you're dealing with someone who has low self-esteem or bad karma or just makes really terrible decisions. I'm sorry. And somehow you're now being affected by it and you're like, okay, we're done. Like, new judgment call. I'm blowing the whistle on you. I can't do this anymore because your poor decisions, for lack of a better, theme, they're impacting my future and my ability to thrive. So like, I'm sorry, I got to cut you off or we got to close this out. We have to make peace with it somehow. Oh, you guys, that's cute. There's a mutual peace offering coming up in what you're hoping to get out of this. It could also be your fear. So I could also see this as needing to offer an apology. It's uncomfortable. You don't necessarily want to do it, especially if you know you fucked up, which, Leo, we all fuck up. We've all been there, right? This is not just one person's cup, though. There's two. So this can be fears and hopes, right? You can read this from different perspectives. It's this, which is really cool. So this says to me, not all is lost. Again, as awkward or uncomfortable as it might be to be the middleman, or again, bring opposing parties together to, like, this sounds cheesy, but like talk about our feelings, like, kumbaya the situation. I actually think there's something very beautiful to be gained by that, and you know it. It will allow this dynamic to transform. You may be dealing with parents who are divorced and you're constantly the go-between. Well, did you hear what your father said? And did you hear what your mother said? And you're just like, guys, can we stop? Like, I have my own bullshit to deal with. The last thing I need right now is you guys like trying to get back at each other through me. And again, this could be a friendship dynamic. This could be a lover's quarrel or a lover's triangle. It's a little complicated. However, in your hopes, I think you want to make a peace offering to one another. And I think your hope is that, hey, if I reach out and I'm vulnerable and I'm real and I tell you how I'm feeling, I'm hoping you'll do the same back. I think you're going to get your wish. Again, whatever this is, this can be platonic love, this can be business, whatever. It could absolutely be romance. I think you're also fearful of it too, and that's what's stopping you up. Every time you take a step forward to be real and authentic and whatever, apologize or express your undying affection, you take those steps and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. This is awkward. Like, blocking yourself from doing what you know you need to close out. Why is this so hard? And I mean, you already know the answer. I don't really need to know. None of my business. Give me one, though. What is the deal here? 2 cups. It may involve a water sign. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. These are peace offerings with the dove. A false person. Yeah. Somebody did or said something that was out of character. Again, there is something a little bit shady about this situation. I don't know if it had to do with lies, deceit, infidelity. I could go through the whole gamut. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, it's saying the goal here is to put the veil down. She's fanning her face so that you can't see what's really going on. I think what's really going on is both of you are masking the real emotion you're feeling from this, the authenticity of, I feel weird, I feel guilty, I feel uncomfortable, but I still love you, or I still miss you, or we did kick-ass projects together, I wish it could be the way it was. Why don't you just come out and say it? It would be a lot easier. And you might be dealing with another Leo too. There may be a little bit of competitive energy here too, possibly a little bit of jealousy of they got what was supposed to be mine or whatever. It could be a minor version of that. It could be friendly competition that maybe it spun out of control a little bit and now there's this weird like me versus them or us versus her or whatever it is. Someone's not being true and authentic with how they feel, but what they're masking, though, is the Ace of Cups, which that could be a whole lot of tears. That could be an apologetic, I'm so sorry and I shouldn't have treated you this way and blah, blah, blah. You may be doing this as well. You may be hoping for an apology, but I will say this. I think my Leos know that in order to get an apology, it would require something from you that, again, digging deep into the pits of the subconscious, right? Where it's a little dark, it's a little scary. We don't like to think about it when it gets too real and too serious. That's what this requires. It's not just, because why would that be your tarot spread, right? Of all things in Scorpio season, universe is going to be like, tell Leo they're getting an apology. No, like you and I both know that's not totally what this message is about. Sure, that's nice. I'm sure you guys would probably accept it or just be thrilled with the idea that your person is coming clean. There's something in your life, Leo, where the same is being required from you because it's a challenge, right? Because you have to force yourself. You have to muster up the courage and the strength to tell yourself, I can do this. I don't want to, but I'll feel good at the end. You're right. You will feel liberated at the end of this. The clock is ticking. You know, it's like, I keep hearing this term, it's time to meet your maker. There's no time like the present. I think this is something you've been avoiding for a long time. And if you are feeling that in pieces and parts of your life, things just aren't coming together, you're not having that nice little money flow, you're not having that same group of friends, you're not having that good luck in your relationships, whatever, it does have to do with unblocking yourself. And it's like clearing your karma. That's what I see this as. Once you make that judgment call to go back and revisit that thing that you're still kind of carrying around and it's shady as fuck, Leo. I don't know what this is. Get rid of it. Cathartically exorcise it from inside of you. If that involves reaching out to this person and making peace offerings, cool. If there's some other creative way you can do this where you finally relieve yourself of it, cool, do that. You're being encouraged to do it, and I do think it has to do with like a mutual partner here. So what's coming up in your future? Finding compatibility, finding a good match, finding a good mate. I don't know why these are related, but they are. Your money improves, your financial situation improves when this happens. Maybe it's getting rid of someone who's working for you, and maybe they're a very close friend of yours, but they've been stealing money from the company. You know, I'm just giving you examples. There is something kind of shady here. And again, you may have been privy to information where you're like, I didn't hear that, because you're like, why did you do that? And it's uncomfortable because you're the middleman. It's like you unbeknownst to you, were chosen to be the secret keeper. And you're like, wait a minute, what? I didn't agree to this. And it puts you in a very uncomfortable position. Again, the squeezing, the pressure, not to be gross, but it feels like a pimple that's going to pop. It's just like, I can't do this anymore. That's your judgment of whatever it is in your life. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. Good, then don't. But again, it's not just saying I'm done with it and not doing the work to actually fix it or heal what went wrong, even if that healing just takes place inside of you. There will be other collaborators, there will be other partners. And for those, if this is romantic and you are looking to authentically, give it another try with your person, again, especially your Leo, it's a lot of like Leo and Leo things. That's absolutely possible. Your hopes and dreams and wishes are the two different cups from two different people. There they are showing up in your future. So worst case scenario, you're real and you're vulnerable and this person doesn't give you the time of day. At least you know, you're seeing their true colors, that they're not as great as you thought they were. Because if you're truly coming to them with, hey, I don't feel good about this and I really like you and I want to talk through it. If they say, sorry, bitch, then they're not your person. Like, why would you want to hang out with that person, right? Worst case scenario, someone new comes into the mix and it's a better match and it's a better dynamic. And again, for some of you, it's the same person and you guys try it again. Tell me more. I feel like this is romantic. Yeah. Let's give it a new, it's passionate. There's a lot of sexual passion here for some of you. I can totally see that here. It's very phallic, right? It's about the wishes and the dreams of what you wish this relationship could be. It's realizing them and putting them into the 3D. There's a very spiritual connection, and I sort of think what universe is saying in a very obvious way, these are cards of communication. This problem, how do we fix it? And it's so complicated, and what do I do? You communicate. This is Mercury energy. It's your basic bitch planet, Mercury. I communicate. I'm technology. I think. I speak. I write. That's literally what both these cards are. So, if you don't feel comfortable speaking, write them a letter, shoot them a text. To solve this, to bring harmony and coupling, right, together, whoever these people are in your life, it's speaking one's truth. It's standing one's ground and being a high vibration. It's not about ego. It's about expressing authentically how you feel and also listening too. Like, again, it can't be one person talking at the other. Again, this is mutual. The cups flow back and forth, almost like temperance. Anyone dealing with a Sagittarius? There's a magic spark to this connection. It's almost like the lighting of a match. Again, fire, a lot of fire energy. The Magician is also a card of Virgo and Gemini. All right. So how does this other person see you? How do people see you? They see you as the magic wand. Of course they do, Leo. Are you surprised? You're sexy, you're beautiful, you're fun, you're creative, you're shocking, you're drama. But there's something where they can't look away. And this is great, again, warmth. There's, again, like a spiritual connection. They like your energy and they like being around it. So maybe there was issues of jealousy. I don't know if this was a friendship that turned romantic and went sour, and there's a little bit of ego here. I do kind of see that with the Magician, but yeah, quite literally fixing this will involve communication. We love to make things so much more complicated than they need to be, right? I'm hearing drama queen. I'm sorry, Leo, don't shoot the messenger. If the shoe fits. This may even be like a pack of, I just heard Girls Gone Wild, but like friendships where the women have turned a little bit catty and turned against each other. Let's not do that. Let's be high vibrational females. Let's support one another, right? Babes supporting babes. Yeah, this to me, there's such a mirrored effect of what you want and desire. Somebody in your life is desiring the exact same thing, and yet you're both waiting. It's like nobody wants to be the bigger person and step up and break the ice to make the first communication, to make the first gesture of warmth, of reconciliation. Someone's got to break the ice first. And I don't know. I feel like it is kind of a classic thing to be like, well, I could never. And you know, there's a million reasons why they need to communicate first. Okay, but if you're not getting the results you need, and ultimately the results you need are closure, universe may be saying, Leo, step up. It's like you know the right thing to do, but both people are denying it, or both people are hoping the other one breaks first. This seems like people are playing games with each other. I'll be honest, all these children coming up, this feels a little bit immature. This feels like a high school relationship, only you're full-fledged adults and you're still doing the playing hard to get stuff. Sorry, Leo, I'm calling you out. If that's you, it's like, why these games? You both are thinking and feeling the same thing, so call them up. Right? If you really love this person, isn't it worth trying to salvage it sooner than later? Rather than living in the state of, oh gosh, oh gee, it's so hard and I don't know if I can and I'll just wait a little bit longer. You have my permission to wait as long as you want, but do I think that's a healthy choice? No. I think Spirit is kicking us all zodiac signs included. They're kicking us in the butt to, again, do that thing that we fear the most. That's even more reason to do it because you're going to feel so good on the other end of it when you've stared down the evil monster, right? With the giant pokey eyes and antennas and, that thing you thought you could never do or never face, you can. Stop making it the monster. It's not the monster. The monster is your shadow side. It's the fear inside of you, feeding your fear, really. It's like we got to snuff that out and focus on the light, on the bright. Illumination, clarity, epiphanies, communication. I do feel like a lot of you are dealing with another fire sign. This may involve the father of your child or the wife of your child. This could be someone you already had a child with. How do they see you? They see you as an amazing mother or an amazing father. They see you as creating a household of warmth and love and stability. This person admires you and respects you. And even if you don't have children together, they see you as good with children. They see you as good with, it could even be something like pets. You have a very kind, compassionate nature. There's a gentleness to you, but there's also like this fun, flirty, sexy vibe. It's like you check all the boxes. This person thinks very highly of you. And I'm going to say this too. They also see themselves as a really good match for you. So I don't know if you would agree, and you don't have to agree, but that's what I mean. There's a mutual sense of, I still think about this person. I wonder if they think about me. I don't know. All these wands, they're saying take action. Take action regarding the emotions, regarding the sympathies, regarding the intuition. What you feel in your gut is the right thing to do, then you're right. That's the right thing to do. Your intuition never acts out of a place of fear because your intuition is your closest connection to God, to source, to spirit. That's how they communicate with you, is that those gut feelings. You can't really explain why or how, or you just get that vibe off a person or from a room. That's your intuition. That's your protection. And I feel like some of you guys are not honoring that because I just keep wanting to say your intuition doesn't act out of a place of fear. Your intuition wants you to grow and develop from a spiritual human being. I know, I'm repeating all the same messages. It's just, this message is pretty clear to me. In fact, of all of them, this seems like, I think you're the 9th sign I've done. Of the 8 before, this one has the most reconciliation vibes. So again, I don't know if that makes you happy or nervous or whatever, but one way to find out. Oh yeah, hey look, there's the divine pairing. Shocker. I'm being mean, I'm sorry. Emperor and Empress, they work very well together. It's not a gender thing. These can be 2 ladies or 2 men or whatever. They will build the empire together because there's a yin to the yang. There's tradition, there's order, there's sometimes there's originality, but the Emperor is very kind of stoic. He makes stern decisions, and he's a fire king, right? He's Aries, technically, but it can be anyone. But it's also merging with the Venus energy, like the planet Venus, love, beauty, art, music, harmony, that the Empress brings, Libra and Taurus energy. So there's a nice little compatibility to, they have the same goals and ideas, but what one lacks, the other one makes up for. It's very masculine, feminine energy, right? So again, we both have those inside of us already. This again is mother and father too, for me as a reader. So this may be a very awkward family dynamic that it's time to transition into a new cycle. Like, we've been fighting for years. You know, maybe you have iced a family member out. You don't speak to them, but you're both like, yeah, we should probably go ahead and fix that. You're right, you should. Your advice or guidance, stop giving so much power to your fear and anxieties. I'm not negating the fact that many people suffer from anxiety and depression. Hey, been there, done that, totally relate. However, you need to be solution oriented. Everybody is fighting a battle you know nothing about. So I know this hurts to hear, but you're no different. Everybody has problems, and we are all responsible for taking actions to heal our heartbreak, to heal our wounds, to deal with whatever mental or emotional baggage we have. But this is saying you're living in almost like a mental prison. You're getting so overwhelmed by thoughts and ideas that haven't even transpired in the real world yet. You're lost in your head of, oh my God, what if this happens? And what if I don't do this? And what if he says that? It's all fictitious. It's imaginary. And also, this is saying it swings negative. It swings pessimistic. So again, higher vibration. She's on the phone, isn't she? She, Leo, the divine feminine, is reaching out to her masculine. You could make a lot of these anxieties go away by simply clearing it up with some communication. But you know what you're going to have to sacrifice? Your ego. He should be the one to do it. He messed up. He should reach out first, or whoever this is. That's going to be a karmic struggle for you, Leo, because you are the entertainer of the zodiac. You are the Queen of Wands. You put on the show, right? You are a fire sign. People are naturally attracted to Leo. People love Leo. So pat yourself on the back. That's awesome. This is harsh. This is tough love. Are we ready for this? It doesn't give you the right to be an asshole, though, right? So, and I'm not saying that you are, but there's a part of you where you're very uptight to make the first gesture. And again, that's ego. It's not serving you in this capacity. It's just not. And again, I'm not saying your person is in the clear. I'm not saying that they haven't screwed up, because I see it. They have too. But I just think it's a pointless situation. Like I'm getting annoyed by it because I both see so clearly that you both want the same thing and no one's doing anything about it. So I can't fix that for you. I can tell you to stop giving your power up to negative self-talk, to your fears and anxieties. Deal with that. See a therapist. You know, whatever you got to do. Meditate. Ultimately, take action. If you want to build the empire with this person, all the cards are indicating that you can. You have a lot of like twin flamey type stuff going on too. Look, I mean, especially for fire and water signs too. Leo, if you have strong Cancer in your chart, or if you have a Pisces moon or whatever, more confirmation for a lot of fire and water here. But it's tricky, isn't it? Because you guys may love differently. You guys may think differently, right? Yeah, fire and water, polar opposites. It's tricky, but it's not impossible. In fact, this may be a Cancer Leo type situation. So what is the overall outcome if you were to make strides forward and essentially do what the advice or guidance is telling you, which is what needs to transform? Okay, let's do it. It'll work. You guys can make this work if you really want it to. Again, this could be a business collaborator who there's some bad blood with, but you both are like, but man, we were like the perfect counterparts. Like we were the dynamic duo. I feel like I've given you guys this a similar reading before. So again, it keeps playing out. This is going to keep playing out in the stories for a lot of my Leos until it's fixed. Tower moment, illumination, epiphanies. There's like an explosive nature when you guys fight, but it's almost like if you could channel that passion rather than channeling it as anger and aggression, if you can channel it into, I'm almost getting like creativity, or using all that passion and zest and fire and putting it into an outlet where it is beneficial to your business or to whatever it is you're trying to do. It's like adding alcohol to a fire. There's that like, oh my God, but it could be beautiful. If you can deal with the simmering tempers. This is Mars energy. It's the Tower, right? So again, it may have to do with a Scorpio or possibly an Aries. You have them both here. Both of you are very strong-willed. I see that. But that's why this collaboration is so special, because you both have like this determination and tenacity to see things through to the end and to keep things going, to keep it fun too. I think that's important. But yeah, I think ego or something got in the way, and it's saying if you want to repair it, this might be worth looking at. After the Tower moment comes healing. And yeah, you guys are sad about this. It was a tricky ending in your life, but that's the irony, is I don't think it's over yet. Yeah, ultimately, the potential outcome is you can stay sad as long as you want, but I think eventually someone is going to come in and make a peace offering, an apology. Or it's saying someone's going to move forward in love, maybe in a new direction, right? If I don't know the scenario, but if this is too complicated and you say, there's no way I could ever communicate with this person, it's done, I'm over it, I don't know why they're showing up in my spread, okay, that's fine, that's your truth. But then I guess your transformation is putting this behind you with no grudge, with no resentment, with no sadness. It's putting yourself out there into new avenues where you can find a partner of any kind, right? Moving on, having healed your wounds, then that's your advice or guidance, okay? All right, Leo. Stop sabotaging yourself. This could be so beautiful. I guess I'm frustrated because you do really have great cards. You do, but someone's got to break the ice first. So will it be you? Will it be you, Leo? Let me know in those comments down below. See what I did there? All right. Thanks for joining me, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye.